What's up? We are doing a special edition of Punchlines today. I'm your host, Shane McMurdo. This is Punchlines, the official podcast of Adams, the number one boxing boot in the business. I'm joined by a very special guest today, friend, one of the funniest people on Facebook you'll ever see. And if you like, just for example, he on Thanksgiving, he posted this. He goes, Thanksgiving be trash now because grandmas are 35. There ain't enough pain in that mac and cheese. One of the funniest things I've ever read in my life. And it's like, I'm friends with stand-up comedians, several stand-up comedians from New York, Vegas. That's like, you post some of the funniest shit.
And I
And
appreciate it.
until they took your goddamn account down. But you are on Instagram. You got a big following on Instagram. His logo is recognizable anywhere. If you follow boxing on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere like that. He's my boy Marcus Null from Ohio. Mr. Ohio runs boxing. What's up, bro?
How you doing? Nice
I'm
to
cold
see
as
you.
fuck. I'm sure you can agree. You're over there in Ohio.
Oh, absolutely, man. I got stuck in my side chick's driveway. It was scary.
Oh no, dude, that's double bad. That's double bad, bro. Oh man, imagine. Oh, dude, that's like a nightmare. Imagine the main one coming and catching you, and your tires are just fucking spinning.
Man, ain't nothing you can do. It's just, oh man.
Bro, hey, that life's a grind though, bro.
It definitely is, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. Just hearing you, following me for over the years, man, it's been a great journey of what I've been able to produce and put out, man. When it comes to content and humor, you gotta have humor, man. I'm sorry, I got to do that, man, because it brings out the fun, in the sport, man. And that's just what I love doing. And you're going to laugh. Anybody who follows me is going to get a laugh, period.
Oh, 100%. And consistently too. Yeah, I gotta quit posting some of the shit I post on my personal account now that I got like boxers following me, because they probably see some of my posts and like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's great to have you on. You do an awesome job promoting the sport and putting positive content out there, especially for the fighters from your home state in Ohio. It is a legitimate hotbed. But they all gravitate towards you as well. They love the work that you put in. It's cool to see that like your efforts are acknowledged and appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So we got you on here for doing we're doing like end of year awards and like what we're looking forward to next year. It's not really awards because I don't know. I don't have prizes to give out to these guys, but like just getting a bunch of the different channels on here and content creators of like what your guys' personal picks are. So let's go ahead and get into it. What's your fight of the year?
Man, this one was tough, man, because it was so many. Well, it was a few that I liked when it came to the fight of the year, and I had to really think like, I liked Jamel and Castano.
Yeah, that was such a good fight. It was a beautiful fight too.
That was the fight for me, and that was for Undisputed. But that was a good fight, and Castano kept bringing it, and to me, it showed that Jamel made adjustments in that fight. So I like to dig a little bit more into just calling out the fight and say that's why it was my favorite fight. But it was just so much going into that fight, and seeing him make adjustments the way he did to challenge that aggressiveness of Castano. It was great, man. I can't wait to see Castano too, man. I love rooting for the underdogs, coming off losses. I'm big on that. So, but that was definitely, I think that was my fight to stand out for me. It was so many of them, though. It was a couple of them that really.
Yeah, there was, especially towards that late spring, summer time frame, there was a bunch like back to back. We had just great fights after great fights.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a good fight, especially too on the inside. Jermell was like really like pushing back against Castano, not letting Castano have his way. And that was one of those fights too where you can honestly say both guys literally laid it all on the line because Castano didn't stop. Jermell had to stop him to get him out of there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what comes next for both of them. I know Charlo's got Sue coming up, but there's a lot of fights available after that, and 154 is fucking deep, dude.
It is.
And a lot of good fighters in that division, a lot of good fighters in the sport overall this year. Who's your fighter of the year?
This one is going to be picked off because, I got a couple of Ohio guys I like, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go with Devin Haney.
Really?
Based just what he accomplished, but then was able to defend his undisputed. To me, it changed. It was so hard for him to get the fights that he wants, and I think he's now in position to get that. I think he did a great job. Now, performance-wise, I wouldn't say it was the best. I like the technician. I like seeing boxing, seeing the guy box, but I felt like he get fight of the year based on what he accomplished. I know NUA is more a knockout artist, so that could be a counter argument where people say, hey, he undisputed too. Good fight, but Kambosos beat the man, beat Tio, and and Devin got his shot, so Devin is in this. But I give Devin the fight of the year, but that can go a couple people. You can give Bivol. I think Bivol can get it. There's a few guys that you can name with no debate that can get that award, man.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people give Dev enough credit too going into that first fight. Just how stressful it was, not knowing if Bill would be able to be in his corner or not. His dad, like that, because you're cutting weight, you're dealing with the media, you're dealing with a fight looming, and you have no idea if your dad's going to be able to make it or not. Who is your trainer? And to go out there and still like put on a masterclass performance and then to repeat it both times in Australia. So yeah, and to become undisputed at like 23 years old.
Yes, that was amazing. It's so funny. I made a funny meme with I don't know if you remember this because it got over 80K on my IG. That was the highest grossing video that I had. It showed Bill Haney when they announced that he was coming. I showed a clip of Ultimate Warrior running into the ring with Bill Haney's head. And Bill Haney thought it was hilarious. Devin did. He shared it. They thought it was hilarious. It just showed him running into the ring and clotheslining up an Australia flag that I put up there, and it was just hilarious.
That's so funny. Yeah, I remember the Blair Cobbs one where he came out to the Stone Cold and he was messing with Bud. Yeah, Blair loved that one. Shout out to Blair Cobbs, man. But yeah, I think Devin Haney is an awesome pick for fight of the year. I'm really excited too because Bob Arum said today or yesterday that his next fight is for sure Loma. So that's a fight I'm really looking forward to.
I think it's a pass the torch. It could be a pass the torch fight for Devin, man. Could be.
If he wins that fight, if that fight happens before Tank Garcia, even if it happens after, if he wins it, do you think that cements him as the best lightweight?
Oh, absolutely. I've always because it's about the legacy fights. It's about the legacy fights right now. Lomo has always been legacy. I was telling people when Kambosos was picking out of Devin and Lomo, I told people I would pick Lomo. Lomo has accomplished more. Devin is going to always be there. People was giving me hell. I said, no, Lomo is the more accomplished guy right now. Devin is going to be there. And then, when the tables turn, I would say the same thing. So I don't change my position on that. You got to go after the legacy fight. I think Lomo is the legacy.
Yeah, and he was the bigger name at the time. Because I still is Kambosos probably Haney's signature win at this point?
Who, Kambosos?
Yeah, is that Haney's signature win right now?
Yeah, you can say. Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. I like what's his name? He beat Diaz. If I was it Diaz?
Yeah, he beat JoJo. He beat Linares.
He beat JoJo. He beat Linares. Linares has accomplished something too. As accomplished. Ooh, I don't know. That's a good. I will still favor Linares, but Kambosos got the biggest win out of everybody right now.
Well, yeah, but that's my point to like highlight your argument is like at the time his biggest signature win was maybe Linares, maybe JoJo. Are you going to take that, or are you going to? And he's 22. He was 22 at the time. He's going to be there for a while. Lomachenko's got only a few years left, and he's still a big name, and he was still coming off of, he's I don't think you're wrong there. But this next one is a little hard to pick because this year we've had so many great knockouts. So to pick just one as knockout of the year is probably going to be hard. There was two just back to back on one pay-per-view. So what's your pick for knockout of the year?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, this is crazy because I like Plant. I'm gonna mention him, but I didn't pick him. I like the Plant's knockout. Deontay Wilder over Hellenius, just because he's a lot of people still was questioning his punching power. It was like he ain't fought nobody, and I heard that so much of his career. The man can punch. Period. It doesn't matter. You know, when you knock Tyson Fury down 4 times, the man got up. That was the difference of the fight. He got up. You know what I mean? The man knocks down everybody he gets in the ring with, and you're questioning his power. That's crazy. But for him to knock out Hernandez Robert, knock him out going on his back foot like that, and it was scary. That was crazy.
His fourth punch landed.
It was crazy. So that was knockout of the year for me, and I actually thought this could be Wilder's last fight. I did not have Wilder favor like a lot of people did going in this fight. I just didn't. But I was happy that he actually got the knockout, and it was brutal. It was a brutal fashion knockout, man. It was scary. It was scary. But there's a lot of knockouts this year that other people can pick from. I wouldn't even be mad at. But I had the Wilder knockout. Caleb Plant is second. Then you got Crawford. You got a couple of them. That one is I might put that one over if I had to rank them. Crawford might be over Caleb. But Caleb is not known to be a puncher. That's why I was so impressive with that. Like, he's not no real knockout artist. But it was a great shot.
It was nice. Joe Cordina had a great one. Lee Wood had a great one over Conlon, which could also be a fight of the year candidate too, because that was insane for him to come back like that. But that Wilder one, because it was just a short punch. He was moving back. And I know we only got to see a little bit because the fight didn't last long. It got, like I said, it was his 4th punch landed and he knocked him out. But you know what I was glad to see? He finally used his athleticism. Because that man was a D1 basketball player. He's a freak nature athlete, and he showed good lateral movement to move away. And you don't really see Wilder do that a lot. And I was glad to see it, and he did it effectively because he was still able to get a knockout by doing that. And that's why I said there was 2 great knockouts back to back on one pay-per-view, and that was him and Plant on the same night. You can never get mad with a Deontay Wilder knockout. He gets hate on so much, but have you ever seen a boring Deontay Wilder fight? Exactly.
Nope.
Not one time.
Entertainment.
Another thing we saw this year was a lot of upsets. I figure most people might be picking the same fight, but what's your upset of the year?
Ooh, man, there's so many, because what's not fair is that the upsets that we got on smaller cards that don't get recognized as much as the bigger ones that's on the top ranks and the zones. But
like Dakota Linger knocking out Josue Vargas.
Yeah,
man, that was a big one.
That one, trying to think, which one did I have in my head already? Because I'm trying to think. It was a lot of them, man. When it comes to upsets, man, you gotta throw something. Man, I forgot which one I had in my head because I got it.
Popular pick is Bivol over Canelo.
See, I didn't have that as a real big upset. I actually had that. That's why I really didn't pick that one. I understand why people did. I didn't. I had Bivol getting a rematch. I thought he was going to get robbed, but they was going to rematch him in September. That's what I predicted on my Facebook. People were laughing. I said I thought he was going to be able to win the fight but get robbed. That almost happened. But with the scorecards. But that is a lot of women picking that one. But it's another fight. It's a few other fights. It's just not coming to my head right now.
A lot of people thought the one where Josh Warrington just lost, they thought that was a big upset, or even when even it doesn't get talked about a lot, but when Tony Yoka lost, that was a big upset.
That was a big upset. I forgot all about that one.
Yeah, because people didn't give it enough credit, man.
Because
a lot of people were touting him to be one of the next best heavyweights. They were saying he was going to be better than Hrgovic. And
hey, I was putting him up there. I put him up high, so I definitely take that. That's one I would actually pick out because I was highly on him.
I'm looking up what some of the more different options are.
Mikey, did he get upset this year? Mikey Garcia got upset this year too.
I can't remember if it was this year or last year. They don't even have other options for me. Was Garcia over Colbert this year, or was that last year?
Yep, that was last year. No, that was this year.
Was it this year? Because that was a big one.
Yeah, I think that was in February.
Okay, yeah, that was a big one. I was not because I didn't know who Garcia was, the guy about to fight Tank, and Colbert was the guy I was talking about. I was like, bro, I don't know if he'd beat him, but I think he could probably give Shakur like a hell of a fight. And
Yeah,
then Garcia went out there and beat the fuck out of him, bro.
he did, man. He took his heart away from him in that fight.
Dakota Linger was on there. Evan Holyfield getting knocked out. I don't.
Wow. Yes, that is to me, that's why I praise the guys that fight the guys they're supposed to be. I give them a lot of credit because it's not easy winning the fight you're supposed to win. That people think it is, but it's really not. You got to go out there and perform. They put you in there to win the fight. You got to go out. You still got to go out there and perform. And 9 times out of 10, it don't happen. Look at Eric. Look at Berlanga. He's still winning fights, but he's getting dropped too. I mean, he's on the edge of just almost losing the fight too.
He's not improving, bro.
Mm.
He's not, and it's getting rough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like hating on fighters, like I said, but I don't think he's very good, man. I don't think he's like champion level. Like, I don't think he'll even be as good as Jean Pascal was like late in his career in terms of like competing at the top. Like late in his career, like, yeah, I know he was on, the extra sauce and stuff, but like Pascal was still able to like drop Marcus Brown and be in tough fights with Brown and Bivol.
Yeah.
I don't see Berlanga like even reaching that level in terms of a ceiling.
No.
But
I agree with you. It's sad. It's unfortunate, but I hope he uses it as motivation. Hope he watches the video and uses motivation and he does something. But as far as me, I agree. I've said that. I actually was okay with the way Top Rank was moving him because I knew based on sparring and watching him, he didn't have it. And I thought they would be working on that more, but it just didn't come. Once they stepped him up, he wasn't able to put it together.
and he's getting frustrated too. Like
too easy.
Fighting. He's like he was complaining about Steve Rolls running the whole time. And it's like, yo, Rolls was standing in the pocket a lot of that fight in the second half, and he was tagging you, and then he would move. Like, come on, like that was an inflated overage middleweight too. Like, let's be real. No disrespect to Steve Rolls because he fought very well in that fight, but it's like he was there because he was a former Golovkin opponent. He was there for you to put away, and you couldn't do it. And a lot of people thought you might not have even won that fight. So you can't get on the mic saying, "Oh, he's running." Like, nah, like that's a bet. And then in the next fight to bite the motherfucker,
right?
Yeah, bro, it's not looking hot, man. And it's room to work. They might need to slow down when moving him because a lot of those guys, if you move them too quick, you'll ruin them.
Another upset that we didn't mention, put out there. I thought it was I didn't think it the way he's been fighting, but a lot of people that called it an upset was the Montana loss to Spark.
Oh yeah, he's been getting drops lately, bro.
Yeah, Montana. That was a tough one at home in his backyard.
Yeah, that was another thing. They're just frustrated. But that guy Stevie Spark was big as fuck, though.
I told people that. I said he was going to be big. He was going to be a Marcos Madonna. He was going to be dirty. If Montana couldn't hurt that kid, it was going to be a long night. I told people that. They was like, "Oh, Marcus, easy work, right?" No.
Yeah, and Montana's been, he's been in there with some decent guys. Baranchik is no like slouch at all. Like Baranchik's a very good fighter. And like, yeah, I was surprised to see him have that much lack of composure in a big stage because it's not like it was new to him. So it's it was upsetting because he is a talent in that weight class, and it's a deep weight class. So I wonder where he'll be coming back. But that was a shocking upset. And then moving into 2023, out of all the fights that we already know are going to happen, like they've been announced, they might not have been signed completely yet, but we know they're going to happen. What fight are you most looking forward to?
Most people are going to say Ryan and Tank. And you're talking about the ones that signed.
Yeah, or at least like we know they're going to be signed soon. Like we're pretty sure.
Yeah, Caleb Plant and David.
Yeah,
Caleb and David, man. About time. I've been screaming for this for the longest. When people was going on, the Canelo, when he fought nobody, Canelo is ducking. I was like, these guys need to fight each other and stop waiting on Canelo. Boo Boo need to fight somebody and start waiting on Canelo. Charlo need to fight. So now, I say Plant fought Canelo, but now I told them they need to fight each other. I've been said Jamal should have went up to 168 and should have been fought Plant way before Canelo got to him. Because Canelo was making his own way. Y'all need to do it. Y'all just waiting. You're calling them out, but y'all ain't fighting nobody. And that frustrated me. And yes, I think Canelo did avoid certain fights, but at the same time, I'm going to call them out too. I'm not about to just ignore what they're doing and just act like it, just focus on Canelo. I don't like that. So I actually like this fight with David. That's the real. I like this fight. I love this fight with David and Plant. I think it's gonna be good. I'm probably gonna end up going to that fight, to be honest.
Dude, I'm fucking so jealous because that's my pick for this as well. Like it's no secret I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan, but as a fan of boxing, you know that David Benavidez is a bad motherfucker, and it's the perfect time for the fight because Plant is completely focused and intent on winning at all costs necessary, and so is David. And they hate each other. They hate each other.
Yeah.
And like it's the perfect formula for just a fucking special night of boxing because they're both gonna come swagged out to the ring, and they're both like it's gonna be a legitimate fight, And I love the way Plant looks with Breadman and with Coach Larry Wade and all of that shit. So yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited for that fight. Like,
it was a confidence boost. It makes the fight that much because of what Plant did in his previous fight too. It's a confidence booster for him. Like he's definitely locked in. And Canelo can pass you the torch and you can take off with it. Just like Floyd passed the torch to Canelo, even though he beat him. Canelo grabbed that torch, that recognition that he got out of that fight, and he took off.
Yeah, and he's personable, he's got style. His fights are like they're like some people call him boring. I don't know what, like he's fun to watch, bro. Like his style is like really fun to watch. Like he's very technical. I love watching that.
I like Plant. He's the kid that grew up in the black neighborhoods.
Yeah. Well, that's like they call me the Weddle from the ghetto because I lived in the Hispanic neighborhood in Vegas.
Okay.
When I boxed in San Diego, I was the only white guy on the whole team.
Wow.
But yeah, but the fight you most want to get made, the one that's not signed yet, the one that isn't up there yet, if you could have a fight finally made in boxing, the obvious one is Crawford Spence, but is that yours or do you have a different one?
I mean, I guess, I think it's unanimous. I think we all deserve it as boxing fans, as Earl and Crawford. And I'm gonna keep my pick. I still think Crawford wins.
Bro, I got a hot take on this fight, bro. I'm gonna let you finish.
But yeah, I think I don't know if that fight ever gonna happen though. I hope it does. I just don't know if it will, to be honest. But I would love for that fight to get made. Another fight that I could think of, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people don't see this one, but I love it. I love Rashidi Ellis. I would love to see him in Enos. And hopefully, if Crawford and them don't fight, one of those vacant belts can be put up, and those guys will fight at the end of the year for one of them. If Crawford and them fight in the middle of the year and then drop them and move on. But I would love to see Rashidi Ellis and Joanne Enos. I'm high on Rashidi and think that will be a great fight for him and a great fight for Boots. He will definitely be the favorite, but I would love to see that fight.
Is Rashidi back with PBC or is he?
Yeah. He was with PBC. He's with PBC.
Oh, okay, I always get it reversed. I always thought he went PBC.
He left Golden Boy.
Yeah. Well, hey, and people forget he beat the shit out of Alexis Rocha on Golden Boy, who knocked out Blair Cobbs.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a great fight, bro. Like I never even thought of that matchup. For some reason, I thought Rashidi moved up to 154. I don't know why.
No, he's big. No, I would have thought the same thing. He just never did. He's wide. The dude is huge, but he's making 147. He's definitely making.
Yeah, that's a really good fight. And then this is where my hot take comes in too, is like I'm not even as excited for Crawford and Spence to fight because it's like I just want it to get out of the way because like I legitimately think that is Boots' division for the foreseeable future. But that's because like Rashidi Ellis is like another one of these guys. People don't call him out. People ain't lining up to fight him. He's fucking fast and he's strong. And his reflexes is quick. Rashidi Ellis is a bad motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, Rashidi is nice, and then you got Virgil, and you got those are the new up and comers. And Connor Ben was still one of them too, but
Yeah,
he's
he's
decent. But they still gonna find him somewhere in the mix. But I call those the future four kings, and they're gonna move. And while Earl and Thurman and the rest of the guys move out the way, I think those are going to be guys. You know what I mean? So I look at those four guys as the future, and maybe after Enos get a belt, he might fight a Crawford or Earl at 154 or something, where they will say they have more to gain for fighting him instead of trying to fight him now.
yeah, and it sucks too because a lot of those fighters like that, they're missing out on big fights in their young career because they're too. That's why I was so excited to see Frank Martin and Michel Rivera fight at the stage of their career they were in. You don't get fights like that often.
It helps you. It helps you in the long run.
It
It helps you.
does, and it helps the sport. People want to see that
Mhm.
shit. Like, I hope we can move past the you have to be undefeated to be good in boxing, because it wasn't like that in the 80s, really. Like,
Nope.
when Sugar Ray and Hagler fought, they weren't undefeated.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like UFC, they don't give a fuck about the zero, and they're like beating us in numbers all the time.
And
So
you know what? I think the key though, Shane, the key of those fights to get fights made is supporting the fighters who lose. Keep supporting the guys who actually lose. Therefore, people are not going to be afraid to take their risk their O. They're not going to be afraid to risk it because they know that they're going to have support. That's what we have to do. We can't call them left for dead. You know, when they lose, now all of a sudden they're nothing. They're nobodies. And that's the problem. It's our fans. UK, they embrace their fans. They don't care how many losses they got. Ricky hadn't got knocked out by Floyd, not laid out in the ring, and his fans were still singing and celebrating. I was just like, what in the world? We would
yeah,
have been quiet.
look at the Mexican fans, bro, lining up whole fucking stadiums to see a guy. He'll have 6 losses. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. So you got to support. You got to stay supporting your fighters because it'll motivate them to take bigger fights. I talk to fighters all the time, and they say that they're like, man, because they get ducked on the lower end on these small cars more than the bigger cars. There's so many ducks. Guys avoiding each other, social media. I mean, so many things play a part of that. But yeah, man, I think we have to support these guys to get those fights, man. And you can suffer a loss early in your career and come back and bounce. Look at Danny Jacobs. He lost, got knocked out. He was able to come back and win the champion. Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Shane Mosley. I mean, these guys, they go through adversity, but they come back. And that's the fun thing about boxing is to get to cheer for these guys who's coming off losses and try to see how would they bounce back from it.
Yeah, like look at Prograis. He has a loss, and he's already the face of his division again. He's the boogeyman at 140 again.
Yeah.
And he has supportive fans too. So yeah, I hate when people start writing fighters off after one loss or two. Like it's you're not always going to be the best in the world, and if you lose to somebody who's in like at that elite level, there's no shame in that, especially if you fight at an elite level. Like
they were saying that with Teal. It was all Teal's done. He ain't been the same since Camboso. I know Devin said that. I'll disagree. I think it was the style because no one said anything about Teal when he came back after that loss to Camboso and got a knockout. Just the moment he lost to Martin, he doesn't have it no more. But then you have to think about it. When has Teal fought somebody that can fight on the back end, creating his back foot and creating distance the way Martin did? I think he fought a good fight. He just didn't press enough to win the fight, in my opinion. I still thought Teal won the fight in the close fight, but I just did style-wise. When it comes to styles, he could look ugly in this fight and look great in another fight against a high-profile guy. That's how boxing works. I don't get people with this, he's done. And I win money off people like that. It's very easy.
And here's the thing too that I saw. This is what I saw. A lot of people are saying that Tio has a problem with his confidence because of what he said after the fight. He's like, "Oh, do I still got it?" And like, I don't think Tio's problem is a lack of confidence. I think Tio has a problem with an abundance of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's going into these fights too overconfident, and he's kind of looking like, I think he looked past Kambosos a little bit, obviously. And I think he looked past Martin a little bit, obviously. Like when he fought Magdaleno and when he fought Comey, he was an extremely confident guy, but he was also, his fight technique, his fight strategy matched his confidence. Like in this one, it's like he's too overconfident and he just thinks he's going to blow through these guys, but the technique that got him those other knockouts, it's kind of lagging behind. Like he's not putting his best performance out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I gather from looking at it.
Yeah, I think, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I think he went into that Heisman weekend and stuff like that. He got knockouts, and he was looking just for a knockout. Anything less, he was going to be down on himself, and that's not the mindset to have going in there because you fight in different styles, and that was different for him. He was getting hit with the little, the left hook, and like he was getting caught trying to come in a lot, and he never really faced that type of style, and that's how I looked at it. And he was trying to be the aggressor, and Martin used that against him. You're here to try to put on the show. I'm here just trying to box and win. And you can do that with certain fighters. You can put pressure on them because they're trying to put on the show for the people. So I think Teal gonna be okay. They're gonna put somebody who's gonna be right there in front of him, and he's gonna look great. It's about the styles.
Do you think he has to switch trainers though from his dad?
Absolutely no, not right now. I think his dad was telling him everything, and he just didn't. He didn't capitalize on certain things he was telling them to do because he still was trying to set up the knockout. But they will go back and look at film. I'm not really criticizing his team, his corner, right now when it comes to that. I just think they need to work on guys who fight like Martin. So when he fights a guy like that again, he won't be intimidated. He'll know what to do. Canelo went through this. Canelo went through this with the slick styles. He ran away from it for a while. It had nothing to do with him being scared. It was just like, or Oscar pretty much was telling him, don't take this fight with Laura. Oscar knows the game. Oscar been in the game. He knows these styles. Canelo didn't listen. So when that fight was over, Canelo won, but it was controversy. Oscar was able to tell him, you see why I told you not to fight him? Look what the people are saying. Look at this. He's not there. He's moving here and there. Canelo is not good at moving and cutting the distance off. He has gotten better. So let me correct myself, make sure he has gotten better because he sparred with Rashidi Ellis and certain things like that. And so he was able to cut the ring off with Billy Joe a little bit better and Caleb Plant going to his body. So he's learned over the years, but that was a kryptonite of Canelo's. Canelo just couldn't cut the ring off.
And I love Canelo, but I will go to my grave thinking Erislandy Lara won that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be biased though, because I'm a huge Lara fan. I always have been, but I still think he won that fight.
And look at Lara. And Lara has switched up his style. He was moving. He did more lateral movement now towards the end of his career. He's more standing in the pocket, exchanging. He's not moving his legs as much. He's there with the high guard. He's trying to take your head off. I like this Lara.
And he's fucking people up too. He fucked Spike Sullivan up. Cornflake, Lamana's Cornflake, but he fucked him up. Yeah. So do you have a fighter who's not yet a champ, but you think by the end of 2023 they're gonna be?
Oh, I think it's a no-brainer. I think I think Jared Anderson can be in that realm in the heavyweight division. They move. He might not be a champion towards the end. He might be right there for a title shot in 2024. So I won't say he'd be a champion towards the end. Is that what you're saying? Like being in the championship position towards the end of the year?
No, like you think they'll have a belt by the end of the year.
Oh, okay. By the end of the year. Who can I prospects?
Yeah. Or a contender, like a high-level contender. Somebody who's
the ones I see knocking on the door, high level contender, Albert Bell out of Toledo, Ohio. He's knocking on the door of the WBO. He's getting in the mandatory position. Enos can definitely get an opportunity. He's knocking on the door. I wouldn't be surprised if Virgil. But again, it's about the welterweight division. If Crawford and Earl do what they got to do, so those guys is going to be on hold. But I think Albert Bell. One, it's another one who I could see as champions towards the end, grabbing a belt.
Jaime don't got a belt.
No, he don't got one no more. You have to let it go, but he got to take the fights though. It's like he had opportunity to fight for another belt, but he's a good name that could throw up there.
I think he's gonna fight Golovkin for one.
Who? You think Jaime? Gonna get
Yeah,
the
I think
Golovkin fight?
yeah, I think Munguia and Golovkin are gonna fight.
That's a good one there. He can definitely get it from there. He can capitalize on Triple G. That's a good one. Who else that I can think of that can be a champion by the end of next year?
There's just too many divisions that are log jammed. Like heavyweight and welterweight and lightweight are log jammed.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm looking. It's like Ohio, we got a couple of guys that's getting in position. Montana, he got to come back and try to get the Stevie fight, or he gonna fight Richards. But he's right there too. He can still get an opportunity for a title shot because most guys get title shots based on vulnerability. It's not always because you're invincible. You could get a title shot because they think they can, they see some in you. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Montana get a shot. He can get a shot against Regis. Who knows, man? Regis will get that, but or another fight is a vacant belt that from what's his name? Who vacating the belts at 140? Josh Taylor. Yeah. Taylor's right there. So I mean, it's a lot of surprises that can actually happen. But right now I see Albert Bell, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia can possibly be a champion at the end of the year. I know that might be crazy to certain people, but he can definitely pull it off. I'm trying to think who else that I could. I can't see Broner. Definitely can't see Broner.
No. I just don't think. I mean, let's see how this fight on Black Prime does, because if he does good against Red Catch and like the numbers are good, I could see him getting like a Prograis if he actually wants to fight Prograis. I could see that easily getting made.
He has to look good against Orish, man. And Ivan is a tough cookie, man. This is a tough matchup for him, man, because I was wondering who they was gonna match Broner up against, but to try to make him look good against him. So this is gonna be interesting.
Almost a perfect matchup because Red Catch is like kind of a piece of shit, to be honest. But I mean, he bit Danny Garcia. He faked a nut shot against Regis. Like he talks shit. He'll get in your face. So he'll provide for like a good opponent for Adrian Broner for what Adrian Broner does best. And that's talk shit and entertain. And like, he provides the perfect opponent for that. And then in the fight, he's going to come forward. He's not going to try to outbox Broner. He's going to come forward and he's going to hit Broner, but he's going to be there to get hit a lot. And I don't care what people say. Broner does fantastic. He does bad against guys who know how to apply pressure effectively. He does great against guys who just apply pressure and don't, like if there's openings there for him to hit you, he's going to hit you because he's fucking accurate as shit. He's a great counter puncher. So I think like it's a perfect opponent for him to be AB, to be Broner in the ring at the same time.
I definitely agree. I just hope if he can't hurt Ivan and Ivan is still out there able to outwork him based on fatigue, I think fatigue will play a big part towards the later rounds because Broner is having fat camps and he's trying to get down on these weights, and I think that's a real big key of his activity in the ring when it comes to fighting. So that's going to be major when it comes to that fight. But you're absolutely right. He's very accurate, great counter punching, but it's going to be real interesting to see if he can't hurt Ivan and get him to respect him. It's going to be real interesting because you got to ask yourself this question too: is Ivan better than Ashley Thurpane, Emmanuel Taylor, or are they the same type of people?
I would say he's a little bit better than them, just because he has been more competitive than they are at a higher level. He might not win all these fights, but he's been in some competitive fights. He
definitely has a resume. He done been in there with some guys. So yeah, we're gonna see it. I'm definitely gonna tune in for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. This is another good one because there's a few guys from Ohio that you could throw in there and just top rank in general. But like, let's look at like prospects, guys with like 8 or less fights that you most look forward to seeing.
True. Yeah, that's a list. Abdullah Mason, out of Cleveland. Yeah, and then you got Tiger.
I love Tiger, bro.
Yeah, man, Tiger is. He loves the city too, man. That's an Ohio guy all day. Jared Anderson. Jared is definitely there. And you said 8 or less, though. You said 8 or less, but Tiger and Abdullah's with 8 or less.
I
Keyshawn
think
is
Tiger's right at 8.
yeah. Is he 7 or
Yeah,
8? Yeah, he right,
yeah.
right. Keyshawn should be what, 8 or what he got?
He's around there. Yeah, he's another
Yeah,
one.
Keyshawn. I like Troy, but I think out of all the prospects, he probably gonna be the first one to lose.
Troy Isley.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Man, I like Troy too.
Yeah, I like Troy. I just think it's gonna be tougher. Some of the guys he fight, is he been taking on some tough guys, man. Definitely Tony. Shout out to my boy Tony out of Youngstown, Vic Tony. That's my guy. He had a tough one with him. He actually beat Vic, but it was a tough outcome for him. But
What about that other heavyweight that Top Rank got out of California? The dude that's
or what's his name? The silver medalist.
Torres. Richard
Yep.
Torres.
Yeah, Torres. Yeah, he's another one. I'm not too high on him. They develop him. He's developing. I'm not.
He's still raw.
High.
He's pretty raw.
Yeah. Who else? They got another Russian that they signed. I haven't seen him though. That's undefeated. He got 100% KO ratio as well.
The Top Rank did?
Yeah, he's a heavyweight. He's a Russian. I seen it. I actually tagged Jared Anderson and him when Top Rank signed him. That was probably about 6 months ago.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look him up when I find it. I'm gonna tag you in it so you can see it. But he's a big dude. Definitely a big dude. He's there. He's definitely there. So I don't know if they're gonna set something up in the long run, but I haven't really been seeing them. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe because the Russian and the Ukraine war or something. But I don't know if he's in America or not. But he's a big guy. But there's some other guys, sleepers. Oh, Adrian Benton. I don't know if you've heard of Adrian Benton.
I have not.
He's out of Cincinnati. Floyd Mayweather signed him to TNT.
I'm gonna look him up. There's a lot of young guys from all over the country. Do you know Floyd Schofield?
Yeah. He's with Golden Boy, am I right?
Yeah, he's the kid out of Texas. I don't know how many fights he has. I think he might have over 8. But then, bro, Emiliano Vargas,
yes,
Fernando's son, that kid, all the Vargas boys, but Emmy for sure is fucking dope. How many fights does Cornwall have, by the way?
Who, Charles?
Yeah, I know he's got more than 8, but he's another guy.
Charles is right there sitting on 18 and up.
Yeah, people need to talk more about him, though. I mean, there's another young kid out of DC. He doesn't get enough coverage. He's pretty quiet. He's got more than 8 for sure, but I wish more people would talk about him because he's talented as fuck. His name is Trayvon Marshall.
Marshall. Oh yeah, Trayvon Marshall. He had I thought it was South Carolina or Baltimore or South Carolina.
Yeah, he's not out of DC. He's out of the DMV area. He's out of Virginia.
Yeah.
He's slick and talented. His coach is cool too. Andrew Council posts great like training videos and shit. If you all want to give him a follow. But yeah, man, there's a lot of prospects, especially out of Ohio. You guys always have prospects, bro.
Yeah, we got them a lot, man. They coming in. That's why it's so funny. People be like, Ohio runs boxing. Yeah, right. And I said they thought when Sean Porter was about to leave, or y'all had Sean. And I said, man, we got so many cats coming in. Like, we can afford to lose 6 fights on the big stage and still have more coming in. Like, every other state don't really have that. Some guys, they got that one fighter that they're behind and they're really pushing. And if he lose, they're set back for like 10 years. So we have a lot that we just pushing out and going to different states, training other coaches and stuff. So, it's really, we're really deep.
Yeah, Ohio's deep as shit for boxing. Yeah, that's it for the awards of the year and like what we got coming up. I appreciate you joining me, bro. This has been a fun conversation. I can't wait to get you back on, do like a full interview, get your story, everything on that. I want to start doing like fight like shows, like get like 2-3 of us like content creators and like maybe a fighter or like somebody who watch like a not a celebrity but like a known figure who watches boxing and stuff, and just get on here and just like all watch the fight together and just shoot the shit and everything. That's something I really want to get going like this next year. I think it would be great for the channels, and it would just be fun to do, just to watch fights with a boxer and shit. But if I get that going, I'm definitely gonna like keep you in the loop on that for sure.
I appreciate it, man. I know you automatically think about me when somebody Ohio comes up, so that's what
100%
everybody
every
tells me.
time. Yeah, every time.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to say before we get you out of here, bro?
Oh no, man. I appreciate you having me on, and shout out to your fans. Everybody, if you want to follow me, is Ohio Runs Boxing. I'm easy to find. Twitter, IG, TikTok. You know what I mean. I'm still starting on the TikTok, but I'm gonna start setting up and start posting more. But you mainly find me on IG.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you so much again for joining me, man. It's been an honor. He's Marcus Nall, the man from Ohio, Mr. Ohio Runs Boxing. Give him a follow. Check out his interviews. I'm not even kidding. Ohio has a bunch of big name fighters, a bunch of up and coming fighters, and he does a great job of promoting these guys and interviewing them. And it's just awesome to see, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Thank you, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure.